van, but it's caused an almighty blue between Will and Rob. Will says Rob offered to fix his van in exchange for some work, but Rob only did half the job, and when we paid him a visit, well, his language got a bit blue too.
People look at me, they laugh. Look at that idiot driving with only half a colour van.
Owen! God! Have a look! Come on! Him, you, and your current affair!
You might be wondering what this story is about and what could possibly be wrong with this sky blue van. Well, like most things in life, turns out there are two sides to every story, and this one looks pretty half-baked to me. Robert Kalman is one mad boss.
You angry piece of
And possibly Australia's most potty-mouthed panel beater.
You sound more like a half-wit, Rob.
I am a half-wit because I let the in my shed.
This is Rob's handiwork, not for a customer, but one of his workers. Forget a wage, Rob reckons this'll do.
So you worked for a few months with zero pay.
Zero pay, that's right.
Not a single cent.
Not a cent.
25-year-old Will Griffin is autistic. When he needed his van fixed, he says Rob offered to spray it for free.
He had a look at it, he said, maybe it needs a spray job. And then he asked if I had a job. I told him I didn't have a job, looking for one, happy to do anything, everything. He turned around and said, first month, don't worry about getting paid because I'll respray the van for the work that you do on the first month.
But months later, this is what Will got, so he contacted us.
Half job, Rob. What are the chances of finishing this off, Rob? You've done a half job here.
Hey,
What are the chances of finishing this off for poor Will?
quite happily.
Anger is one thing Rob doesn't seem to do by halves, going from 0 to 100 in seconds.
Will doesn't come to work. Will doesn't do anything. When you do get Will to do something, he does half a job. Now, off.
He's got a disability, Rob. Why are you getting angry?
Why? Off. Off.
No.
Yeah. Me.
Our security guard is forced to step in as Rob goes rogue.
Going off. You two. Come on. Big hero. Will got exactly what Will was asking for.
Rob's language is just as charming on Facebook, where he gloats about what he's done. Karma bit this bloke hard, thought he'd only put in a little effort in return for me painting his van. Well, I decided to only put 50% effort into his van painting it.
As you can see, this is perfectly mint black, and this one's still got rust on it.
So we asked why.
Why not just pay him what he's owed,
He's
fix
not
his
owed
van,
anything.
and be done with it?
He's not owed anything.
Do you treat all your workers like this?
Yeah, I do. Because I pick idiots.
I felt very humiliated. I felt smaller than an ant. In fact, I felt like an ant was a giant in comparison to me.
To add insult, Rob even went to the effort of doing some sign writing on Will's van.
Well, he tried to get a job and he came here. He's
He
trying.
didn't try to get a job. He's a lazy little turd.
Why would he come here to work then?
Why did he come here? Because he was going to get his van painted.
Will says he worked on and off for months, and when he asked Rob about his pay, Will says Rob flipped out.
Will did half a job for me. I did half a job for him.
I did it to his standards and sometimes more in what I believe what I was doing.
How many days did he work here? Can you tell us?
How many days? He really worked? Probably a week.
Overall, I worked 3.5, 4 months solid.
I paid him fuel money. I got a cheap car for him. I paid for the car.
What about in wages?
No, because he's on the dole. The deal was he was getting this van painted.
Why not just let him go? Why do that? Shame him. Why shame him?
What do you think he was doing to me? Stealing my tools? You know, you don't come and work for somebody and steal their gear.
Do you have proof of that?
Yeah, I do.
Something Will firmly denies.
He'll throw tools across the room. He'll throw it at any jobs that he's doing, and then the next day he'll blame me for tools going missing.
I'm a hero, and I'm a celebrity now.
You think Australians are going to think you're a hero, Rob, when they see this?
I think people are going to have a laugh.
I don't know how to describe it in words, other than it really disheartens me and makes me really sad.
You put it on there and people will be turning around and saying, good on you, mate, because that's one for the to try to put it over everybody.
I think they'll be turning around and saying, let's not go to get our car done at Rob. Rob does a half job. Rob, I've got to get my car done. Will you give me 50% off, given this is the job you do?
I wouldn't do a job for you.
What about your other customers? Do you give them half price, because this is the job you do? Half a job.
This is a really good job. Have a look. Have a look.
Will says all he ever wanted was for this rust to be removed. He told us he even paid Rob $200 for the job.
What the is that? 200 to get in here and have a look. Come on. $200 worth of repair.
But he paid that,
Yes, he did.
and he worked for you.
Yeah, he worked for me, but he didn't do anything. There's a difference between working and not doing anything. And he didn't work.
It begs the question who'd want to work for a boss like this anyway.
You haven't done a very good job.
Everybody thinks it's a good job, the half that I did.
Will sounds like he's been treated really badly. Not to be paid fully for the work that you do, that's a big problem.
Kamal Farouk is a lawyer at Morris Blackburn and says, in general, young workers should be extra vigilant.
They're young, they need a break, they're trying to get their first shot at something that they really want to do. And some employers, unfortunately, will play on that and exploit young workers.
And it's about time someone spoke up and exposed him for who he is. I gave him a spray can and this here of the colour I wanted. As you can see, up against it, it's two different shades.
So he's actually done a half job on the half job that he has done.
Yeah.
And since Will was here, no more losers in my share.
You really call a disabled young man a loser?
Will's not disabled.
He's got
I'm
autism.
more disabled than he is.
Don't trust him. Run for the hills.
Him, you, and your current affair.
Will says he's now looking for a new job while also on the hunt for a new panel beater to paint the other half of his van.